The warning. The crystalline data node hummed to life after 60,000 years of silence. Captain Morvax of the Viridian exploratory vessel Distant Light watched as the ancient technology pulsed with an inner glow that somehow felt both warmly inviting and deeply ominous. His 4 arms remained perfectly still, though his back spines flickered with the electrical discharge that betrayed his excitement. "We've succeeded where 17 other species failed," Chief Archaeologist Zinra said, her voice modulator pitched low in reverence. "An intact communication node from the Ancient Ones." The Ancient Ones, the mysterious precursor civilization that had dominated the galaxy before vanishing without explanation at the height of their power. They had left behind ruins, outposts, and artifacts across hundreds of worlds, but never a functional communication system. Until now. The archaeological team had spent 3 years excavating this remote outpost on Proxima Centauri V. What made this discovery particularly significant was its proximity to the unremarkable yellow star that the ship's navigational system simply labeled Sol. "Begin translation protocols," Morvax ordered, his voice steady despite the tremor in his spines. The ship's AI interfaced with the crystal node. Strange geometric patterns appeared in the holographic display above the artifact, twisting and morphing in ways that seemed to defy the basic laws of physics. "Translation at 27% capability," announced the AI. "Basic semantic structures identified." The patterns coalesced into recognizable star charts. The Viridian crew gathered closer, their various anatomical features, tentacles, eye stalks, and sensing membranes, all focused intently on the display. "That's the Sol system," pointed out Navigator Elks. "The 3rd planet is highlighted." The display zoomed in on a blue-green world orbiting the yellow star. Text began appearing alongside it, the ancient language gradually transforming into modern galactic standard. "Warning," Zinra read aloud. "Quarantine zone. Species designation, human. Threat assessment, exceptional." The crew exchanged confused glances. The most advanced scans of Earth had revealed only primitive technology, combustion engines, basic digital systems, and rudimentary space exploration capabilities. "There must be some mistake," Science Officer Trell said, her voice vibrating with uncertainty. "The dominant species of Sol 3 has barely achieved spaceflight. They pose no threat to interstellar civilizations." The translation continued to appear on screen. "Evolutionary anomaly detected. Unprecedented adaptability. Psychological profile indicates dangerous combination of traits. Extreme resilience, resource-maximizing intelligence, pack bonding with non-kin, and unique capacity for both self-sacrifice and ruthless determination." Captain Morvax's spines flattened against his back. The Ancient Ones weren't concerned about their technology. They were concerned about what these humans might become. More data streamed across the display, showing detailed biological studies of humans, behavioral analyses, and predictive models of their development. "By the void," whispered Zinra. "According to these projections, if left undisturbed, humans would achieve in mere thousands of years what took other species millions." The final piece of the message appeared. "Containment protocol initiated. Non-interference directive absolute. Warning to all sentient civilizations. Avoid contact. Avoid detection. The survival of galactic harmony depends on isolation of this species." "But why?" asked Navigator Elks. "What makes them so dangerous?" "They're physically weaker than most sentient species. Their homeworld is unremarkable. Their technology is primitive." Science Officer Trell had been reviewing the biological data. "It's not any single characteristic," she said slowly. "It's the combination. Look at this. They evolved on a death world by galactic standards. Their planet has extreme temperature variations, constant natural disasters, thousands of predators, millions of pathogens. Yet they not only survived but thrived. Many species evolve on challenging worlds," Elks countered. "Not like this," Trell continued. "According to this data, Humans can survive in environments ranging from -50 to +50 degrees. They can go weeks without food, days without water. Their bodies can adapt to nearly any toxin given sufficient exposure. They heal from injuries that would be fatal to most species. Captain Morvac studied the images of the bipedal creatures. They looked so fragile, with their soft skin and lack of natural weapons. And the Ancient Ones, at the height of their power, feared them enough to quarantine an entire star system. "There's more," Zinra said, examining a different data set. "These psychological assessments are unsettling. Humans form social bonds not just with their own kind, but with entirely different species. They attribute sentience to inanimate objects. They willingly sacrifice themselves for abstract concepts. And most concerning, they become more unified and innovative when facing existential threats." A silence fell over the command center as the implications sank in. "We must inform the Galactic Council," Morvac said finally. "This discovery changes everything." 3 lunar cycles later, the Viridian research vessel was joined in orbit around Earth by representatives from the 12 most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. The observation zone they established was carefully cloaked to remain undetectable to Earth's primitive scanning technology. The Council had assembled its finest xenobiologists, sociologists, and military strategists to assess the validity of the Ancient One's warning. After weeks of observation, they convened aboard the Council ship Eternal Wisdom. "The humans show no signs of advanced technology," reported Admiral Krex of the Thalosian Empire, her bony head ridge flushing with irritation. "Their most sophisticated weapons could not even penetrate our basic shielding. The Ancient One's warning appears to be baseless." "With respect, Admiral," countered Chief Xenobiologist Plex, his gelatinous form rippling with urgency, "technology is not the issue. Our observations confirm everything in the Ancient One's data. In fact, the humans have progressed even faster than the projections anticipated." The holographic display showed cities sprawling across Earth's surface, aircraft traversing its skies, and primitive spacecraft orbiting the planet. "Look at their history," Plex continued. "They advanced from simple tools to space travel in less than 10,000 years. What took the Viridians 2 million years? What took the Thalosians 1 million years? They accomplished in a mere eye blink of evolutionary time." "And their wars," added sociologist Freen, her feathered crest flattening with concern. "They fight with a ferocity that defies rational analysis. Yet they also demonstrate extraordinary compassion, even toward enemies. They create art that moves them to tears. They risk their lives for abstract principles." Admiral Krex made a dismissive gesture with one of her 4 arms. "All species have contradictions. That doesn't make them a threat." "But don't you see?" Zinray interjected. "It's precisely these contradictions that make them dangerous. They're unpredictable in ways that defy our understanding. And their adaptability. They've settled in environments across their planet that have temperature differences of over 100 degrees. They eat nearly anything. They recover from diseases that would exterminate other species." Captain Morvac had been silent, watching the images of humans going about their daily lives. Building, creating, arguing, loving, fighting. "The Ancient Ones didn't fear who the humans were," he said quietly. "They feared who they would become." The Council descended into heated debate. Some advocated for immediate intervention, not destruction of the humans, which would violate the Galactic Charter, but subtle interference to slow their development. Others insisted on continued observation, arguing that the Ancient Ones might have been mistaken. As the argument intensified, a junior scientist rushed into the chamber. "Council members," she announced, "we've detected an anomaly. The humans have launched a new type of probe. Its trajectory will bring it near our position, within 6 planetary rotations." The Council fell silent. "It appears," Captain Morvac said, "that our decision may have just been made for us. The humans are about to discover they are not alone." The encounter. The probe was rudimentary by galactic standards, a simple scanning device with basic communication capabilities. but its trajectory would bring it dangerously close to the Council fleet's position, despite their cloaking technology. "We have three options," Captain Morvax explained to the assembled Council. "Destroy the probe, which violates our non-interference directive. Relocate our entire fleet, which would take more time than we have. Or allow contact and face whatever consequences follow." Before a consensus could be reached, alarm klaxons blared throughout the Council ship. "Proximity alert," announced the ship's eye. "Spatial anomaly detected." Outside the viewport, space itself seemed to ripple and twist. A wormhole, a rare but natural phenomenon, had appeared less than 10,000 kilometers from the fleet's position. "Gravitational forces increasing," reported Navigator Elks. "The wormhole is pulling us in." "Evasive maneuvers," ordered Admiral Krex, but it was too late. The smaller research vessels, including the distant light, were being dragged toward the swirling vortex. Emergency systems engaged, but the gravitational pull was too strong. "All vessels, prepare for emergency phase shift," commanded Morvax, knowing it was their only chance of survival. The phase shift would temporarily place the ship slightly out of normal space-time, potentially allowing them to slip past the wormhole's event horizon. 5 of the 7 research vessels successfully executed the maneuver. The distant light and one other, the Thelosian vessel Unyielding Thought, were caught in the wormhole's grasp. As reality distorted around them, Morvax gave his final order: "All crew to stasis pods. Survival Protocol Alpha." The wormhole collapsed as quickly as it had appeared, leaving the Council fleet in disarray, and 2 ships missing, assumed destroyed or transported to an unknown location. Consciousness returned to Captain Morvax in painful fragments. Emergency lights bathed the ship's interior in a dull red glow. The stasis system had preserved his life, but the distant light was clearly damaged beyond repair. "Status report," he croaked, his voice dry from suspended animation. "Life support functioning at minimal capacity," responded the ship's eye. "Hull integrity compromised. Location: Sol 3 surface." Morvax's spines stiffened in alarm. The wormhole had somehow deposited them on Earth itself, the very planet they had been warned to avoid. Of the 24 crew members, 16 had survived, including Chief Archaeologist Zinra and Science Officer Trell. The ship had crash-landed in a remote mountainous region, partially buried in snow. "We must prepare for the worst," Morvax told his assembled crew. "Our presence here violates the Ancient One's warning. We have no way to contact the Council fleet, and based on our crash trajectory, human detection is inevitable." As if to confirm his fears, the ship's sensors detected approaching vehicles. "They're primitive ground transports," Trell reported. "Estimated arrival: less than 1 planetary rotation." Zinra examined the external camera feeds. "The landscape is experiencing a severe weather event. Temperature is dropping rapidly. The humans appear to be fleeing something." The cameras showed several human vehicles struggling through a blizzard, their progress hampered by deep snow and howling winds. "They're not coming for us," realized Morvax. "They don't even know we're here. They're trying to escape the storm." The crew watched as one of the human vehicles slid off the mountain road, tumbling down the slope before coming to rest against a rock formation. Even through the blizzard, they could see small figures emerging from the wrecked transport, clearly injured. "They'll die in these temperatures," Trell said, consulting the environmental readings. "Their protective gear is inadequate." Morvax faced a decision that would violate every protocol established by the Council. "Prepare first contact equipment," he ordered. "We're going to help them." The humans, 5 adults and 2 juveniles, huddled in the remains of their vehicle as the temperature plummeted. Their communication devices showed no signal, and the storm was intensifying. Hypothermia had already begun to affect the injured. When strange lights appeared through the swirling snow, they initially believed it was rescue services, but as the lights drew closer, revealing beings unlike anything they had ever seen, terror replaced hope. Using translation devices, Morvax attempted to communicate. "We mean no harm," his words emerged in halting human language. "Your lives are in danger. We offer assistance." What followed was a testament to human adaptability. After the initial shock, the humans, stranded, freezing, with injured companions, assessed their options and made a decision that astounded the Viridian crew. They accepted help from utterly alien beings. The injured were brought into the crashed ship, where Trell administered basic medical care. The humans watched with a mixture of fear and fascination as their wounds were treated with technology centuries beyond their understanding. "You're not from Earth," said one of the adults, a female with graying hair and steady eyes. Despite her obvious fear, her voice remained calm. "No," replied Morvax. "We come from beyond your star system." "Why are you here?" asked another, a younger male who positioned himself protectively near the juveniles. Morvax exchanged glances with Zinra. "Our presence here was unintended. Our ship was damaged. Like you, we are stranded by circumstances beyond our control." As the storm intensified outside, an unlikely exchange of information began. The humans, facing an extraordinary situation, adapted with remarkable speed. They asked practical questions about the aliens' needs and capabilities. They offered information about their own survival requirements. They even suggested ways to conceal the spacecraft from other humans who might respond less rationally. "You need to understand," the older female explained. "Most of our people aren't ready for this. It would cause panic, maybe violence." "Yet you are not panicking," observed Zinre. The human gave what Morvax's cultural database identified as a smile. "We're too busy trying to survive to panic." Over the next several hours, as they waited for the storm to pass, Morvax witnessed firsthand what the Ancient Ones had feared. The humans displayed extraordinary problem-solving abilities, suggesting ingenious repairs for systems they couldn't possibly understand. They formed social bonds with the alien crew with unsettling ease, apparently extending their pack-bonding instincts to include entirely different species. Most disturbing of all, they showed no sign of the xenophobia that characterized most intelligent species' first contact experiences. Instead, they exhibited curiosity, adaptability, and a strange form of joy at discovering they were not alone in the universe. "You've been watching us," the older female said suddenly, catching Morvax off guard. "Your understanding of our language, our biology, it's too comprehensive for a random encounter." Before Morvax could formulate a response, the ship's AI announced, "Approaching aircraft detected. Search and rescue operation initiated by local authorities." The humans exchanged glances. "They're looking for us," explained the younger male. "When we didn't arrive at the evacuation center, they would have sent search parties once the weather cleared enough for helicopters." "They cannot find us here," Trell said urgently. "Your civilization is not ready for contact." "We know," the older female replied. "That's why we're going to help you hide." What followed demonstrated yet another quality that had concerned the Ancient Ones: humans' capacity for self-sacrifice to protect others, even others they had just met. The injured humans insisted on being moved outside, positioning themselves away from the crash site. They fabricated a story about taking shelter in a cave. They even helped camouflage the ship with local materials. As the human rescue aircraft approached, Morvax made a decision. "Take this," he said, handing the older female a small communication device. "It will allow us to contact you securely." "Why would you trust us with this?" she asked. "Because you trusted us," he replied simply. The humans were evacuated, maintaining their story about finding shelter. The alien crew remained hidden, contemplating their extraordinary encounter. "Now I understand," Zinra said as they watched the human aircraft disappear into the clouds. "It's not their technology or their physical capabilities that the Ancient Ones feared." "No," agreed Morvax. "It's their capacity to overcome any obstacle, to adapt to any circumstance, to form alliances with any being. Given enough time, nothing will stop their progress." 3 days later, under cover of darkness, The Council rescue team finally located the crashed vessel. As they prepared for evacuation, Morvax submitted his official report, with one significant omission. He said nothing about the humans who had helped them, nothing about the communication device he had given them. Some warnings, he had decided, needed to be tested, and some species deserved the chance to prove the Ancient Ones wrong. As the rescue ship lifted off from Earth, Morvax gazed down at the blue planet, home to a species that had simultaneously terrified the most advanced civilization in galactic history and saved his crew through simple compassion. The Ancient Ones were right to be cautious, he thought, but perhaps they were wrong to be afraid.